Hi again then guys, and welcome to episode 51 of Quattroporte, the review series for Gran Turismo's selection of sports sedans, or super saloons, from both ends of the spectrum. Some are, as you'd expect, significantly faster than others. Others may be better around corners, for instance, rather than in a straight line. And this particular pick is another Subaru Impreza variant, and this is actually the final variant of the Impreza which will be featured in this series, and the particular model is the 2004 Impreza and the Spec C in particular. This is the car in the dealership which has the smaller wing on the back, and it's the slightly more track focused, more hardcore version than the regular WRX STi. So the question is it really worth reviewing the car? Surely, as I've mentioned before, as with the Evos as well, they're all so similar. Does it really even matter which one you buy? Well, I would say yes, it does matter, because the cars have different prices, different power levels, different weights, and their performance and handling is definitely different from car to car. So yes, it's very valid to review each model, not necessarily every single variation, but just the main ones. Now this particular car straight off the bat has the exact same advantages and disadvantages in terms of broad terms as the other Imprezas, and that is it's very good for acceleration and grip, not so good for top end performance, so nothing really too surprising there. However, I would say that this particular Spec C, along with the slightly newer Spec C, the so-called Hawkeye or the kidney grille model, both share in common very, very good handling, among the best handling actually of not just the Imprezas but of sports sedans overall. This particular car is, I would say, a little bit more nimble than the premium Spec C, not necessarily quite as quick, especially in a straight line, but I would say possibly superior handling. The level of grip on this car is very good, the turn-in is excellent, and the level of driver control and drivability, even for a beginner, is outstanding on this car. The handling is superb. It's lighter on its feet than some of the other Imprezas, and although it's not necessarily a lighter car at 1122 kilos than all of them, it's light enough to still be very good. Now, as far as its engine, as you'd expect, it's got a 2-litre turbo boxer engine. It's all-wheel drive, of course, and you're looking at fully tuned specs of 558 horsepower along with 477 foot-pounds of torque. So a little bit less than some of the other Imprezas, a little bit more than some of the older ones. As far as horsepower per tonne, it sits at just under 500, 497 to be precise, and the PP is 579, which is quite high. So would I recommend buying this over another Impreza? Or is it more a case of each one basically just offers a different variation of the same concept? Well, to some degree, especially at first glance, most of the Imprezas can, with the exception of one or two, such as the original Impreza, the 22B, etc., some notably different ones, they can feel very much of a muchness, some of them at least. I would say, though, that if you're looking primarily for a handling and technical circuit-based Impreza, you definitely want to go for a Spec C. Now, there is another Nürburgring edition of the Impreza, which is of the latest model. It's on the game, but we will not be reviewing that car, for the sole purpose that it's rubbish. That car looks the part, and many people seem to think that it's great, but it just isn't, because you can hardly upgrade anything on that car at all, which is stupid, and I don't know why they did that, but it's just slower, to be quite honest, than any of the other Imprezas when they're fully tuned compared to that car with the tune upgrades that you have available. It's just a complete waste of space having that car and then not letting us tune it. This car and also the Hawkeye model are the models to go for as far as I'm concerned if you're looking for a newer Impreza purely for handling and technical ability. Its all-round ability is also very good, but as with all Imprezas, as we already mentioned, the top-end performance is not as strong. You can do around 220 to 230 under its own power. The acceleration's okay, mostly launch, which is very good. Top-end it just doesn't have the kind of pulling power to take on something like a Charger, a Chrysler 300C, a BMW M5, that kind of stuff. However, for just under 34 grand, the value for money is very good, and if you're looking for a strong all-round contender in especially the sports sedan class rather than necessarily super saloons, then this is a very viable one to go for. But that's it overall for this particular pick. I'll see you guys next time, and as always, thanks for watching.